Good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing today? My name is Anthony. This is Palmetto Prepared, and today we're going to start a new series, brand new series, and it's going to be called End of the World Nutrition. Now, this series is not necessarily about end of the world. It's basically going to be focused on how to eat properly, how to get the proper nutrition, the macro elements that you may need to survive properly. Now, in this series, I'm going to discuss caloric intake, amino acid profiles, protein, fats, fiber, carbohydrates, sugars, whatever, blah, 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 you name it. We're going to tackle it head first so we're all on the same page and really get a good grasp of how to properly feed yourself if you can't go out and buy something immediately. Now, the best part about this series, the main reason why I wanted to do this is because I was asked, I believe it was during Reed from Manifestation of Imagination, one of his videos, how to make complete proteins, that kind of fun stuff. And it really kind of got my wheels turning. I said, you know what? I need to do a series at least, because I can't do just normal one video, obviously, because one video would be way too long. And we all understand everybody's attention span on YouTube is about 45.5 milliseconds. So I got to make sure I grab your attention. And the only way to grab your attention initially is to make sure that little timestamp in the bottom is under 10 minutes. So let's do that instead. Now, today's episode, in order to get into the actual basics of nutrition, we have to go even farther basic and find out exactly what you need personally to survive. And that basically means these three letters right here. So first things first, we are going to discuss what exactly is a BMR. We're going to discuss why does it matter. And then third and final in this video, we're going to talk about how to actually calculate your BMR. That way we can all be on a perfect level playing field from here on out for the next however many videos this actually takes. So let's go ahead and get started. First things first, what the heck is that? What is BMR? Simple. BMR is basal metabolic rate. Now what that means, what basal metabolic rate means, is how many calories does your body burn just functioning as a human being. That means how many calories do you burn to perform daily vital functions that your body's going to do regardless if you're working or laying in bed all day. That means breathing, circulation, brain function, digestion, and endothermic. Endothermic meaning body heat, creating body heat, because we are mammals, so we create our own body heat. How many calories is that going to take to run all of that daily? And I think this thing is actually one of the most important aspects of being prepared, because if you don't understand how many calories it takes just to run your bodily functions, it means that you are drastically at risk of undernutrition or under eating your calories and going into starvation mode and that kind of fun stuff. So that's what we're going to get into next. Why is this important? Very simple. Like I was saying, if you do not meet your minimum BMR for how much you weigh now, then you are going to lose weight. And I don't mean just a little bit. I mean, if you're, we'll just say the random 1,500 calories. If your basic bodily functions require 1,500 calories per day just to maintain where you're at, if you eat less than that, you'll be fine for a few days, but after about 4 or 5 days, your body's going to go into starvation mode. And when starvation mode hits, that means your body's going to start cannibalizing muscle or wherever it can get extra calories to make sure that your body will have calories for your brain function, for your heart and digestion, and endothermic reaction, body heat. So you don't want to start automatically cannibalizing good muscle that might be required for running, lifting, performing actual manual labor, that kind of thing, because you didn't think enough in advance to store enough calories per day to function in a grid down scenario. Just to reiterate, that way we're all on the same page here, BMR is the calculation for calories that you're going to need, the basic minimum calories that you're going to need to eat per day to do nothing. This is not including manual labor. This is not including running, doing whatever you may need to do if, say, there is an SHTF scenario or a grid down scenario. This is just basic calorie intake that you have to maintain in order to maintain your present body weight. There's two ways to calculate this. Actually, there's about 9 ways to calculate this. But I prefer the Harris-Benedict equation. This has been around for the longest. Now, the Harris-Benedict equation is basically a mathematical formula that will calculate using your body weight, your height, and your age to determine how many calories you're going to burn. Now, if you want to get a classic, perfect to the T point example, you're going to have to go to a doctor or a nutritionist to get your actual body fat percentage calculated. Once you get your body fat percentage calculated, then you can get narrowed down to the absolute point. But doing this exercise right now, the main thing we're looking for is a midpoint, a roundabout number, a roundabout figure. That way we can have an idea of how many calories we're going to have to eat. So in order to do that without going to the doctor, without getting your body fat measured, your body mass index measured, we are just going to use a mathematical equation using your height, weight, and age. This differs between males and females. Not your chosen type, but your actual biological type, male and female. You have to, males and females burn things differently, so this is actually very important. Now, the first way we're going to do it is the difficult way, because I like doing the hard thing first, because that's just the kind of person I am. And then the second way is super easy. Please stick along for it. It's going to blow your mind how easy it is. Now, first things first, difficult. Now, the difficult equation's right here. It's not that difficult if you actually just look down into it. But just remember, when you do the whole thing, it's PEMDAS, all right? Parentheses is always going to be first. So you're going to do the parentheses equations first. And I'm going to go with me. I'm going to use myself as the example to find out how many calories I burn per day. But this is the equation right here that is going to show you your calories that you're going to burn per day. All right? Are we all on the same page now? Now I'm going to plug my numbers in. All right, now for my American friends, because obviously the United States, we are not on the metric system, you're going to have to convert your pounds and your height to kilograms and centimeters. Unfortunately, the Harris-Benedict equation is in metric, so you're going to have to change those out. Not a big deal. You can put it on, you can Google it, and it'll be in 4 seconds. But my numbers are inserted as follows. All right, my height, my weight, and obviously my age is all input into this equation. Okay, are we all on the same page here? Let's solve it. Doing the parentheses first and then adding the parentheses together and then subtracting the age at the end, we all come to the same conclusion. I'm about 2,300 calories per day, just shy of 2,300. Now this is, again, 2,300 calories is how much it's going to take to run my body at present state, how much I weigh, to maintain my body weight just sitting there. So if I'm going to put in any kind of equation, another multiplication, obviously, to determine how much calories I'm going to burn by working per day, that's how many more calories I'm going to need. Now, to find this many calories out in your daily life is going to be very, very, very difficult, especially if you do not have the agriculture already established to do so. So this is one of those reasons why I wanted to make this video, to try to show and be very upfront and forward with everybody. This is very, very important. You cannot walk into the situation thinking my 8 cans of ravioli, my bag of rice, and my bag of beans are going to save me or my family, because let's face it, if I have to eat just shy of 2,300 calories per day just to function my body as of right now, we got problems, because that's a lot of food I got to store. Now keep in mind, I'm 6'4", I'm 238 pounds. Now, obviously I can function much thinner, and I will lose weight obviously when if a scenario happens. So do I really need 2,300 calories, to basically survive? No, but if I want to maintain my body weight, that's how many I'm going to have to get. I hope that didn't scare you, all that math that you got to do, because guess what? Now's the easy way. Are you ready? Are you ready? We all have a cell phone these days. We all have the internet these days, don't we? So there's a website called calculator.net, and you can use that to calculate your BMI, or BMR, to find out exactly what your metabolic rate is. Now, again, this is going to be a roundabout number. You're not going to get an accurate number until you go see a nutritionist and a dietitian and all that fun stuff. But this is a roundabout number. Now, when I did the Harris-Benedict equation, my number was 2,294. When I did calculator.net, my number is 21, 26. So obviously I have about a 200 calorie difference just about, which is a kind of a big difference when it comes down to eating. But hey, this is close enough because we are within a 10% differential. So at the end, I don't know if you can see this. Screw it. I'll put the link down in the description box below. That way you can do your own BMR. At least find a roundabout close enough example of what you are, so you know how many calories to stash and what to expect to eat. And there you have it. That is episode 1 in the books. BMR is down. I hope now that we all have a really good example of how many calories we're actually going to have to eat to be able to maintain our present body weight by not doing anything. Obviously, if you are going to be active, which everyone should be being active when it comes down to an SHTF or grid down scenario, you will have to add quite a few calories on top of that. So, in closing, I guess I could say, you have to make sure that you are either storing enough food to be able to maintain that, or know how to get that kind of food. Now in the future episodes, we are going to discuss how you can be able to grow these kinds of foods to be able to get these kind of calories to be able to maintain you and your family's body weight and stay healthy, and at least have some form of nutrition. That way we're not days away from impending doom. I hope you learned something from this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you actually did, and drop a comment down below to tell me if I'm right or completely wrong. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I would love to have you here as a subscriber, and I will catch y'all later, okay? Bye.